While 77% of organizations lack sufficient leadership depth across all levels, there's something counterintuitive happening at the top. The most successful CEOs are actually getting worse at what made them successful in the first place. But here's the twist. They're doing it on purpose. If your company feels stuck at the same level despite your expertise, I'm about to show you exactly why. And the 7 specific learning habits that separate growing leaders from stagnant ones. Learning agility and curiosity are now the top priorities for the 2025 world's most admired companies when hiring for leadership roles. But here's what nobody talks about. Expertise can actually backfire. When you've mastered your field, overconfidence creeps in. You stop questioning assumptions, you miss market shifts, you create blind spots that keep you from seeing the next breakthrough. The rate of change has increased 183% over the past 4 years, and 33% in 2023 alone. But most leaders are still operating with yesterday's playbook. The data backs this up. CEOs with higher overall assessment scores who embrace continuous learning achieved 8.7% annual revenue growth compared to 3.2% for those who rely solely on existing expertise. Companies like Microsoft under Satya Nadella transformed from stagnation to a $2 trillion market cap by embracing what he calls a learn-it-all culture instead of a know-it-all approach. I'm about to break down 7 specific learning habits that Fortune 500 leaders use to stay ahead. The same strategies that help them navigate uncertainty while their competitors fall behind. First, subscribe request. If you want these Fortune 500 strategies delivered weekly, hit that subscribe button. Successful leaders like you rely on these insights to stay ahead of the curve. Strategy 1. Seek fresh eyes on old problems. Netflix didn't revolutionize entertainment by copying TV networks. They borrowed from software companies. Amazon transformed retail by applying logistics principles, not department store tactics. Fresh perspectives spot inefficiencies that veterans accept as normal. Here's the implementation. Schedule monthly lunches with your newest employees. Ask them 2 specific questions. What surprised you about our company? And what seems unnecessarily complicated? Their answers reveal opportunities you're missing because familiarity breeds blindness. Young team members understand emerging trends before industry veterans catch on. Experience creates insights, but it also creates blind spots. Smart leaders harvest both. Strategy 2. Cross-industry intelligence gathering. Your next breakthrough probably won't come from copying competitors. When Airbnb disrupted hospitality, they applied social media principles to real estate. When Uber changed transportation, they borrowed from delivery logistics. Here's your action plan. Pick an industry you know nothing about and study their top performers. High-growth companies achieve 50% higher total shareholder returns than their peers by finding patterns that transfer across industries in unexpected ways. Use this ChatGPT session. Ask it to identify key success factors of top performers in a completely different industry, then apply those factors to your business. The patterns that drive success often transfer in ways your competitors never consider. Strategy 3. Question first leadership. Most meetings follow a predictable pattern. Problem raised, CEO provides solution, meeting ends. But this kills 2 critical things: your team's problem-solving development and your discovery of better solutions. About 2/3 of world's most admired companies' leaders consider their organizations change-ready because they create space for deeper exploration through strategic questioning. Quick question. How often do you ask questions versus give answers in meetings? Drop your percentage in the comments, and if this is shifting your leadership thinking, hit that like button. Try this in your next meeting. Only ask questions, no statements or suggestions. Just questions like, what are we missing? Or what would happen if we did the opposite? Watch how much more your team contributes when you create space for them. Strategy 4. Instant error acknowledgement. 3 words that build more trust than any mission statement. I was wrong. 43% of senior executives struggle with imposter syndrome, which makes admitting mistakes feel career-threatening. But the opposite is true. When you're wrong about something, announce it immediately. Your team usually already knows when you've made a bad call. Admitting it fast turns a mistake into a teaching moment and shows that learning matters more than being right. Leaders who implement these strategies join our community for weekly insights like this. If you want to think and act like a Fortune 500 executive, subscribe and hit the notification bell. This vulnerability creates psychological safety where innovation thrives. Teams perform better when they see leaders learning publicly. Strategy 5. Feedback reception mastery. Here's what kills feedback culture: asking for it, then defending yourself when you get it. Real feedback requires making people feel safe to be honest with you. After your next big presentation or decision, ask 3 people. What could I have done better? Then, and this is the critical part, just listen. Take notes. Say thank you. Don't defend or explain. Make giving you feedback rewarding, not risky. When someone points out problems, get curious instead of defensive. This creates a learning organization where problems get solved before they become crises. Strategy 6. Assumption auditing. The dangerous thing about assumptions is how invisible they become. You assume your premium pricing works because of quality, that customers need all those features, that your market position is secure. These assumptions drive every decision, budgets, hires, product roadmaps, but when did you last check if they're still true? Schedule quarterly assumption audits. List your 3 biggest business assumptions and actively seek data that contradicts them. The assumptions that survive testing become stronger. The ones that don't, you just saved yourself from a major strategic error. Strategy 7. Disagreement. Seeking. If everyone agrees with you all the time, how do you know your decisions are actually good? Learning from disagreement is one of the fastest ways to grow as a leader. Find someone who fundamentally disagrees with one of your strategies. Schedule 30 minutes with them. Ask, what am I missing, and what would you do differently? The conversation might be uncomfortable, but that discomfort means you're learning something important. Disagreement forces you to see problems from angles you've missed and builds your ability to handle pushback without getting defensive. Here's your step-by-step action plan to implement these 7 learning habits. Week 1. Start with Strategy 3. Question first leadership. In every meeting this week, ask 3 questions before making any statements. Week 2. Implement Strategy 1. Schedule lunch with your newest employee and ask those 2 specific questions about surprises and complications. Week 3. Try Strategy 4. The next time you're wrong about something, announce it immediately and explain what you learned. Week 4. Apply Strategy 2. Pick one industry you know nothing about and spend 30 minutes researching their top performers. The key is starting small. These habits feel uncomfortable because they challenge your expertise, but that discomfort is exactly what creates growth. Share your progress in the comments. Which strategy will you try first? Before you implement these learning habits, help other leaders discover this mindset. Hit like if this shifted your perspective on expertise, subscribe for weekly Fortune 500 strategies, and share this with someone who needs to stop being the smartest person in the room. Which of these 7 strategies surprised you most? Drop it in the comments below. Join thousands of executives and entrepreneurs who've transformed their leadership approach. Subscribe for strategies that actually work in today's business world. Next week, I'm breaking down why 68% of CEOs say AI is changing their core business operations, and the 3 strategies they're using that their competitors are missing. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Remember, in a world where change is accelerating, the leaders who stay curious stay relevant. The moment you think you've figured it all out is the moment you start falling behind.